Black woman, black hips, black kiss, black lips, afro with a black pig. Love when you talk that blackish. Black man, black fist,
Vokal Dialect, like, comment, subscribe.
Vokal Dialect podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Vokal Dialect podcast. Like, comment, subscribe.
Black schools, black scholars, black doctors, black designers, black garments, black stage, black performance, black panel, black audience, black mothers, black fathers, black sons, black daughters, black love, black honor. You black today, you're gonna be black tomorrow. Black woman, black hips.
My name is Tex Johnson. I'm the owner and operator of Faithful Few Creations. I make walking sticks and wood carvings. Something I've been doing for approximately 2 years. I started making walking sticks when it was just a freak accident how I started making them. 2 years ago, fell out of a tree and I had 4 months off of work to heal. And being bored without the time, nothing to do, I had cut down the tree, so I just started wallowing with the wood and cutting them a little bit. And when I got through, I had people tell me, that looked good, you know. I made a walking stick out of it. I was limping around anyway, so people was like, you can sell that. So what I did was, my wife, she went to a pop-up shop and I took it with me. A lot of people liked it, and then I had somebody ask me to make them a stick and they would pay me for it. So from then on, I've been doing sticks, and it's a passion of mine. I really like it, and they really mean something to me. I try to put my all into them. I try to put a lot of me into it. You know, I don't try to give you anything. Anybody know me know I'm a perfectionist, so it really don't matter. Whatever you got in your mind, you give it to me. Or what I got in my mind, I take it and make my hands create it. So whatever type of stick you interested in getting, like, it don't matter what sports you like. I do the sports team. I did Pittsburgh, Dallas, different teams, you know. And if you're in a sorority, I did sorority sticks. You know, I got all these on my page, and you can look it up. If you whatever you like, hit me up. I like the challenge. I like to try to take what's in your mind and put it on a stick for you. If you want a stick just in remembrance of somebody, it could be one of your loved ones that's deceased or whatever, give it to me. Give me that challenge. I make it happen for you. I have literally seen people cry from the sticks that I have made for them. So hit me up. I take a piece of me and literally put them in the sticks, not just by the carving and all. You know, I get what you give me, and I might put my little twist in it, but I put my heart in it, and they touch me just to see the outcome, your acceptance, you know, when I give it to you. That's why I always require feedback from the people who get them from me. And this is one of my products, a stick like this. I do it in color, and I do it without color. And a stick like this probably take anywhere from maybe 2 to 3 days if I'm steady at it, or it depends how my time is. It got a lot of detailing in it, and it has a few symbols on it. It has the shape. It has Africa right here. It has the word Asa. It has the eye of Horus, and it has the Ankh symbol. And the colors, red, black, and green, as y'all know, is the African colors. So this is one of my favorite sticks. I get a lot of feedback when I do this stick. I did this stick in a day, and it has a lot of detail. It says upstate. Let me put it this way for the camera. It says freedom fighters, South Carolina upstate freedom fighters. And I have the name Tracy Finn, which is a friend of my wife, a friend of ours, and she's an activist in South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina. She does a lot in the community. She's not only in South Carolina. I mean, she get out in the streets, and she is for the people. And this ain't nothing that she asked me to do or nothing like that. I did it because I like the work that she puts in. And you know, you just can't be talkers. You got to be doers out there in the streets, because it is a battle that we all are fighting.
Good.
This here is my newest stick that I did yesterday. It's controversial to a lot of people. I got the words, "This is America." Reason why I say it's controversial, because I have the flag, American flag, and the American flag is upside down. Anytime you see the American flag upside down, it represents distress. So I put the flag upside down. A lot of people, might get mad about that, but it's okay. And I got Black Lives Matter on the stick. And the title I chose for the stick is called Strange Fruit. And the reason why I got Strange Fruit is because this stick represents a lot of the hangings that went on in America. I got right here from the time 1877 to 1951. They listed 4,730 hangings in America. And some of these hangings, I got the nooses right here, and I got in the name, I got different names in them. So you can see when, the year, and I got right here. This is something I think we should, a lot of times we forget and we've been like that's the past. That's not happening today, but they say if you don't remember the past, you go back, you go right back through it. But it's something I put the words "remember" here. We need to remember. This stick here is my favorite stick, which it starts off too with the words "This is America." It also has the flag, and in this stick here, I got a couple buckshot. I got going down here. I got, I think, 12 bullets. And in these 12 bullets, I got names in these bullets. I got Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile, Freddie Gray, Walter L. Scott, Tremere Rice, Michael Brown, Balton John, Alton Sterling, Samuel DeBose, Sandra Bland. All these names here is people that in America that through the justice system was shot. Sandra Bland, she was not shot. She was killed in a jail cell in Texas, and they say that she hung herself, but we don't believe that. He was the one that they strangled him over cigarettes, and when they strangled him, his last words was, "I can't breathe." A lot of y'all might have seen that. And this stick here, I got the words, "No justice, no peace." Like I said, these are two of my favorite sticks. They got a lot of meaning to them. These are more than sticks. These are tangible memories and reflections of your walk in life. If you would like a walking stick, you can reach me on Facebook and Instagram at Faithful with Few Creations. Tell them Tex Johnson.
I titled this one, "Who Influences You and What is the Output?" And anybody that know me know or been listening to my content for a second, I always start this off and say the same thing. Y'all know that I always talk about social media influencers or influencers, period. Bandura's theory on the model, and all those things. So I've been looking at quite a few things. Hang on, let me get this straight. I've been looking at quite a few things. And what prompted this for me to talk about this was I was just going back and I was watching Princella, the Queen Maker, and Charleston White. And this is pretty old, but relevant. And the context of this conversation they were having was male-female relationships. And Princella is saying in her lower nature, because this is the thing when I say who influences you. Because everybody looks for these gurus, right? And spaces like mine exist because of pages like this. So everybody looks for these gurus, these people that are, and they're really just like social media famous. This what gives them the merit or the clout per se, is that they may have thousands of followers. Most people listen to Charleston White because of his antics, because he could be a broke clock that's correct here and there. And he has a way with words and articulating in a certain fashion that draws people to him and make people say, that's the truth. He say, Charleston White be saying the truth. Same thing with Kevin Samuels, same thing with Anton Daniels, same thing with Umar Johnson, same thing. All of these people are trying to get you, are influence on daily people. Let's just keep it a buck. Everybody is influenced by somebody in one way or another. Now, if it's a good influence or a bad influence, that is the true question. And in their back and forth, she makes the statement that Black men are incapable of love. And she's using Charleston White's words as a reference point or a case in point. And this is what I say. When we listening to these type of influences and characters, number one, we have to understand, like, have they taken the product that they're selling you? Right? Are they taking their own product? And let's just look at this chick, Princess the Queen Maker. And I call her the lesbian maker because she really, number one, she exudes masculine energy. And that's a subject that females like, well, what do you mean masculine? I mean, she in this one, it looked like she had on a blazer. She got on a baseball cap. And you're talking to a fool in Charleston White who he's more known for his foolish antics, his calling the police, lower nature, right? So she's saying Black men are incapable of love. And when people hear that, it resonates. Boom. Okay, we all have trust issues. We all have issues. I have trust issues. I have issues to where I think, and I said this in therapy. I said in my mind, I know it's not to be true, but in my lower nature, I feel like women can't be trusted or females can't be trusted, right? I'm going to be all the way transparent because there's another thing about these gurus that you follow. I understand secrecy and I understand privacy. I'm a very private person. However, you have to be transparent with who you are talking to. Most of these people that you follow, we don't know how they live their lives. We don't know what kind of mothers, what kind of fathers they are. We don't know how they treat their children. We don't know who they are once they turn these cameras off because they are characters they're selling you. Anybody that knows me personally know the same person off this camera. I'm the same person if we face to face, if we over the phone. I'm me 24/7. And I share my experiences because that's what we're supposed to do. I'm not going to get out here and act like I'm this perfect product and I'm this man amongst all of these. I'm different. I'm different from most. But that is my belief. And a belief is not a fact. A belief is just a theory in a sense. I believe this thing. I believe this to be true. They believe LeBron James is the greatest player to ever play. I believe Kobe Bryant is the best player I've ever seen. Most would say Michael Jordan. So you get what I'm saying? Everybody believes their religion is the correct way. Okay. I'm just talking to somebody. Everybody believes their religion is the correct way. Their belief is the right way. Right? So back to this saying, Black men are incapable of love. That's a belief. That's an opinion off of their shared experiences. And in their banter and in their noise, nobody's listening. This is why we can't advance an inch in these conversations, because we have a bunch of broken, unhealed people that's not listening because everybody wants to be heard, but nobody's listening. Everybody wants to be heard, but nobody can sit down and take. And then when you see the males that she's talking to, whether it's Charleston White or another one, I saw her talking to, and I'm talking about Prince Ella, I saw her talking to another brother on the podcast, and he asked her a question, and then he didn't give her a chance to answer. He proceeded to cut in on her character. Now, what you feel about her character is your opinion, but we have to answer questions. We have to have conversations to get an understanding, not put somebody in their place, not to be right. Most people listen to be right, right? And I just feel like, well, I know that this is what's keeping us in the cycle of growth. Because there's the thing. I watched a story about this 19-year-old sister named Sade Robinson. Now, this is the issue I have with females, with black females, especially ones that subscribe to dating outside your race, or even if they're open to dating outside their race, in the way we believe and perceive people, right? Sade Robinson was 19 years old, I think, from Milwaukee. And she went on a date with a white boy, only to not return, and her body to be found chopped up into pieces. And I think he's still being held. I'm not sure on the latest update. I think he's still being held. If anybody knows, I always say put it in my comments. And the crazy part is, when the detectives went to go investigate his apartment, they found blood in his apartment, but it wasn't hers. It didn't match to hers, right? And I'm going back to belief. I still haven't got away from what I'm talking about. And I blame her surroundings on this, on what happened to her. Because their cultural GPS is not working, or they just don't have one. And your cultural GPS lets you know your adversary, right? It lets you know your adversary and if you are in danger, which is this funny movie, The American Negro, the American Society of the Magical Negro. And that movie is a trip, in my opinion. Back to this cultural GPS. If you don't have an understanding of who your enemy or who your adversary is, you are destined for danger. And the reason I say her community around her failed her is because this is the thing that bothers me, is that when black males do something, and listen, I cut into brothers all the time. I cut into black males all the time, because we are dropping the ball in our emotions, or our lack thereof, or our over emotions. However, when this is what bothers me, that for people that don't have an understanding of that side, they put Westerners, they put white people as this pedestal. Like, take Jeezy and Jenny Mine. He thought he really had found him something different outside of his complement or his reflection, which is a sister. So you put these people, you put these others or these Westerners in this particular situation. And when things happen to that sister, Sade Robinson, I saw a lot of sisters saying, well, that could happen to you by any man could do that. It's not just white. It ain't just this is what you hear. It ain't just the white ones. Any man could do that. But when you are buying into what you believe about them, you believe that they are the anomaly. They are land of milk and honey because it is the things that we've been taught about them. What does it say? If you get with them, you're not going to go through single motherhood. Your credit is going to increase. We've been trained to look at Westerners just automatically successful as an upgrade to your life. So with her not having any real understanding of this devil that she was hanging with, and I contend, I don't know whose opinion, that because he was an average looking white boy. And that's what most of the times when people go outside themselves, they just have to be white. They just have to be different. They just have to be, because there are more females that are open to dating outside their race than a short black man of their own. Because no two emotions can exist at the same time, right? So they'll say things like, well, I just want somebody. Now listen, this is totally your preference. But I just want somebody that's taller. I want to feel secure. While simultaneously saying black males make you feel unprotected and not secure. So you can't feel in danger and safe at the same time. One has to leave so the other one can take place. You can be fearful and then have a courageous moment and get through a situation. Polarity. And so when we look at this of what's being told, most of them are just looking at if it's white, it's all right. As Francis Chris Wilson used to say, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's black, hang back. Right? I think that's how she said it. So in our beliefs of how we look at people, and especially how we look at white people, we look at white people as the knowers. They have to have the answers. They have to know this. We look at them and we say, Shannon, he gets on his thing when Cam Newton had that brawl or that fight. He gets on there and say, it's always us. Because how they have conditioned you to look that you are the only one that commit crime. This is why Boosie can go on Vlad and ignorantly say black people are the most violent people on earth. When if that was true, we would not be in this condition. We would not be in this situation. If we were the most violent, how could we have been taken captive? Whether you believe if this stuff existed or not, the slave trade existed or the slave massacre existed, how could we be still captive right now in this day? If you don't want to believe in that, believe in right now. That's why I said we have to have an understanding of American culture, because American culture is not black American culture is a subculture of Western American. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So, and like I said, if black American culture was the dominant culture, again, would we be in this condition? Would we always be pleading and saying, Black lives matter? Our lives matter too? No. So, I look at it like we have to have real mature conversations. Because what's taking place, we are allowing people that's unhealed. I'm just going to put it like that. There's an agenda. There's something to gain from us being at each other's throat. Because the more we see each other as lesser and lesser and lesser, we see them as well, I'll give that a shot. You know, you have some black folks, they want to get the furthest away from their own people and move to this. They want to be around Westerners. Now live where you want to live, but make sure that GPS that I'm talking about works. And I always wonder, I said, okay, how many, how they beat up on single mothers. I contend my opinion was the stagnation and or movement of Kevin Samuels and his way of thinking demonized black mothers, black single mothers. Because the unbalanced things that y'all are having, brothers, when fellas, when y'all looking at this, is I see everybody pile up and say, okay, like let me give an example. Okay, Chris Brown and Quavo just had beef, right? And in Chris Brown lyrics, he leaks that he sleeps with Saweetie, who was Quavo's girlfriend at the time. And she also allegedly slept with what's his name? Offset. And who instantly gets attacked? Her. It's like, oh, she ain't this, she ain't that. She was cheating on Quavo while he was in a relationship. And we don't know it's because she got caught first. But do you honestly think that he was just this faithful dude that was just working on a plan to get them to the next level of their life and be this fake? No. We have to look at both sides. We have to start looking at both sides. Fellas, we doing some effed up stuff. Ladies, what y'all doing ain't right. And we have to understand, we have to listen to understand and not respond, or not to be the victim and say, this is how you know you're dealing with somebody that you can't further with, because you bring up something and they'll say, well, you did this. Okay, well, you should have caught me when I did that. They wait till you bring up an issue that you have with them to bring up an issue that they either have or had with you. It's always this lower level tit for tat. Well, you did this, so I did it, and this is what we've been playing for the longest. It's been a game of emotional ping pong, while both sides are trying to slap the ball hard as they can to hurt each other. So when a black female does something that's deemed trifling, it's drug out, it's drugged through the mud. But when a other or a white girl does something or a white boy does something, we say, well, everybody do it. You can't just blame them. That's everybody. It becomes this is why you can't further when you bring them into your camp, because they neutralize you, right? To get them in your protest, right? It neutralizes you. It neutralizes your issues and your predominantly black issues, and it silences it and makes it become all about everybody else. It's a human issue. When I listened to the news the other day, and they blatantly said Jewish, basically, like, what was the word? Not abuse, but we'll use that word if I can't find what it was. That Jewish hate crimes or Asian hate crimes will not be tolerated. They specifically said the people who they were targeted to protect. Now, y'all are talking about American. Y'all are talking about y'all are American. Y'all are talking about this is y'all country. Fair game. If this is what you want to claim, then do so. But y'all are so busy just looking against Africa and looking at against anything that's perceived African, that you're just trying to claim this place that you don't mentally understand. You don't mentally understand the handlers and the controllers and how they think, which is why I'm always telling you about a B.F. Skinner, a John B. Watson, which is why I'm always telling you guys about this. It might sound repetitive. I'm not doing a whole lot of antics, so my stuff may not come across as this, but I'm giving straight up information. I'm not asking nobody to follow me, because what I'm giving as my contribution to this society, as my contribution to bettering it. Let me ask you, what are you personally that's listening to this, what are you doing to better it? What are you doing to better male, black female, which ultimately leads to black children relations? Because if we keep going with this petty Anton Daniels energy, this is why I say they're sassy. It's not black men, and I'm not a simp. You know what? This is what I want to say about this word simp. What are the? You know who the true? They are the true simps, right? Listen to this, because they have the most simplistic, basic level of thinking and understanding. These high value men, they think on a surface, simplistic, Americanized level. And what's the first letters of simple? S-I-M-P. Simp. And this is why I say it's sassy. Because if any man shows any confidence in himself outside of what they deem how you should be confident, you're a simp. If you just say you appreciate women, oh, you a simp, oh, they don't love you, oh, this, that, and that. But I watched, and I think I did a small video. It didn't hit a lot of views on here, but I think I did a small recording on O'Shea Duke Jackson. And his images are advertisements for the mind. He did and he was doing something. I have the video. He was making a point of the type of women high value men aspire to, which was white girls and others, and the type that low value men, which were fat black women and black women. So imagine what this influence is doing to the young undecided 14-year-old. See, this is how, before I get out of here, this is how y'all are shooting yourselves in the foot, because you are in your ego. Listen to this. You must kill your ego, or your ego will kill you. You must kill your ego. I'm going to talk like Umar Johnson now. You must kill your ego, or your ego will kill you. You must kill your ego, or your ego will kill you. You must kill your ego, or your ego will kill you. Repetition is the mother of learning, right? You think that's why he says stuff? Because he's trying to program? Nah, he wouldn't do that. Nah. Not the Prince of Pork and Bean Juice. No, not that. But anyway, back to a more serious matter. But you get what I'm saying? That what you are putting out right now, all of y'all that's doing this, is going to affect the future children. It's going to affect how your sons date, how your daughters date, the type of caliber of children or women or girls, children right now, little girls, boys and girls that's going to grow up and be grown-ups. What you are putting out and what you are putting into this social media atmosphere and algorithms will affect the input and the output of the future. Does that make sense? But you're so invested in making all black males look the same. You're so invested in making all black females look the same. And you're spewing low level shit. And finding myself, continuing to find myself, you know what? I'm not a perfect African. I'm a real African. I tell my people, I say, don't focus on being a perfect African. Focus on being a real, a genuine one. Because everybody, not my therapist said, stop saying everybody. Most people are putting on a facade. Who are these people that's talking to you? What growing pains have they? You're not revealing you're not revealing your hand. Because guess what? You can have an open book test and still fail. If you can't read to comprehend, you can have an open book and still fail the test. We're so busy trying to be one up on each other that who is the real foe? Who's the real foe? What is the biggest threat to Black people and Black relationships and Black development? Is it us? Because I've showed you through the Tavistock Institute. I've shown you through Edward Bernays. I've showed you these basics. But your mind has to receive it. You have to receive something when somebody gives you. When somebody gives you a revelation, you have to receive it. But we're still stuck in what we feel. I feel Black men are this way. I feel Black females are this way. I don't want to take accountability for my choices. I want to complain about what I keep manifesting. I keep running blindly into relationships without healing or ending one. And I keep finding the same type because not all black females behave like a Prince Ella. Like whoever that girl is, they just call her Sprinkle Sprinkle. Not all of them behave like Sexy Red. But the undecided ones that are influenced by them, there's a vast majority. We can't say that. We can say a vast majority of Black males are just ignorant to the fact of a lot of things. And ignorant doesn't mean stupid. Ignorance just means the ignorance. I'm showing you something or I'm sharing something with you that I want you to, I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to look further. This is the thing that they have gotten us to buy in, this whole one. This is why everybody is still waiting on Umar Johnson to create this school that's never going to come. Because we keep, and we were talking about this on a podcast the other night of the word distraction. We're being distracted. We're being distracted. We're being distracted. So much to every time an allegation comes out against a Black male. Diddy is just a distraction from this. Oh, they just want you to focus on this so to keep your mind off of that. Okay, pause. Let's just say that's true. That's true. They are purposely blinding you. And okay, but what if we really was to focus on that? On whatever thing you feel let's say the thing we're being distracted from is the true nature of Westerners and Western society. Their true nature. Guess what we're going to do in the conversation? Well, not all white people are like that. What you do, what they have trained you to do is to shame yourself to validate them. This is why that movie, The Magical Negro, is so important. And I'm going to do a breakdown on this. Because one of the things that they told the Negroes in this society is to never make it about yourself. Always make it about your client, which is the Western. You cater to their emotions. So we can't even focus on the real thing that we're being distracted from because somebody is going to come in and say, well, I know some good white people. And they're going to name a white person that's in their family as if they are the savior of the entire one, or they are the reflection of the entire one. Now, what they have trained you to do to yourself is the reverse. That if we are trying to talk about bad white people, you're going to do that same thing. Say, well, I know some black people that you can't just say that. I know some black people that they shit, they this, as if that one person speaks for all of us. Am I making sense what I'm saying? Hit my comments and let me know. And like I said, no ignorance. If you're listening to understand, I always say I'm around. At the end of my podcast, or at the end, I always say I'm around. And what I mean by that is I'm mature enough to have a real conversation. Stop all this little petty stuff in somebody's comments, because that is emotional 304 behavior, dudes. That you get in somebody's comments, not that you're commenting. That's why you're doing this. When you open yourself up to social media, you open yourself up for people's comments. I don't have a problem with that. Fair game. If I'm putting this out, I'm putting this out in that it is forever. I'm putting this out to be critiqued. But what I'm talking about is your lower nature when you're dealing with somebody that's not on that time. Your lower nature to make you get in, like, example, one of my last videos, when I was talking about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, they totally dismissed every point that I was making to only keep focusing on when she did this. Because you're stuck in an emotion. You're stuck in how you feel. So that's why most of them are so triggered when you say you love black women. Because they're stuck in this he-man, woman-hater mentality, and they want you to sit in here and hate too. But the first time when you say how you feel about Westerners, oh, well, don't say that, because I know some black people, they're going to automatically go to attacking themselves and say, well, I ain't this, well, I done this. You're going to go into put-down mode. Because are you a magical Negro? I'm coming with, are you a magical Negro? That might be a good topic. But understand what I'm saying. You know, in this, when you are really, I had a friend, she put me on the life path number. I'm still learning. This is why I'm enjoying this. Listen, when you act like all those cats that's on side of the TV, when you act like a Umar Johnson, when you act like all of these talking heads that have been put before you, guess what they act like? They act like they're masters at everything. That's how you know you follow a jack-leg preacher. That's what we used to call him, a old jack-leg preacher. He was just in the juke joint. Now he up here talking about this, and he's talking like he know everything. No, the beauty in my journey is I'm constantly learning. I have a brother, a very close brother to me, my dog, and he said he always send me information. I don't just find everything by myself. We are so thirsty for attention that we won't even give props. We won't even give props and say, whatchamacallit put me onto this? Oh, such and such showed me this. Because somehow you've been trained in your Willie Lynch chip to think that it takes away from you. So when I'm learning something new, and I'm talking about my life path number, I'm not going to forget. So when I'm learning something new, I'm like, oh, and guess what? Somebody might have been on that. But I just got to it. I might be saying something that I've been on. Somebody else might be saying something that I've been on. But they just get into it. You arrive to the same destination at different points. Stop putting pressure and thinking because you found something that makes you better than somebody. No, it was just your time to come across it and discover that revelation. But I found myself to be a number 7. And when I kept looking, it said the 7 is a truth seeker. So when I started understanding the path that you go down, I'm like, this explains a lot. Because I care about the truth. I don't have a need to be right. Somebody they just want to be right. That's how you make errors. One of my babas, he say you want to be correct, and he goes in to tell me why there's a difference. Some folks they just want to be. You're arguing because you want to be right. We can't solve nothing like this because it affects what is your output. When you hit and record and you saying some of the most low level shit, who is it going to affect? Because you want people to feel that same emotion that you're feeling. So you are the misery that's looking for company. I'm getting through, you know what? Because I know I've seen it. We've seen it so many times. And I'm not saying that I'm on the level of these people that I'm naming, but we know truthers that have been made martyrs. You can name one that he was saying something and they didn't like him. So after you get out of your abandoning issue, because most people that really stand on truth and are confrontational to the truth, they're not really liked. You're looked at as confrontational. But guess what? The truth must confront the lie. That's all this is about. This is not about you looking at me. You don't like the information because it comes from me. You don't like what I'm saying. You don't like how I'm talking about Umar Johnson. You don't like how I'm talking about Reza Islam. You don't like because you're looking at the person. You're not looking at the agenda. So when I say they can go on and talk about Malcolm and talk about how Malcolm should have been assassinated for the things he was saying. So we say we followers of Malcolm or we love him, but we won't even defend his name. So when I speak against somebody, it's not personal against that person. Well, maybe it is. But what I'm saying, well, maybe it is. Because the deceased can't speak for themselves. Instead of looking into what I'm saying, because it's always personality worship. I like this personality. I like what she's saying. I like what he's saying. He can't do no wrong. When those videos was hitting about LeBron James saying how he ain't no party like a Diddy party. Black males were saying, oh, this AI is out of control. This can't be. Boy, they are something else with what they making him say. Because you have built your favorite person up, put them on a pedestal. Ain't that's kind of LGBTQ when they've trained you to look at females as the lowest thing, but put a male on a pedestal? Sounds very Greco-Romanish to me. Think about it. You ain't got to like what, because guess what? I don't let numbers control me, right? Because people will get in your thing, in your comments, and the first thing they say to try to invalidate you, oh, you don't even have that many followers. Does that make what I'm saying less potent or less true? Because I don't have a bunch of followers just blindly listening to what I'm saying. Rather the impact and the importance of what I'm saying. This is why Tupac is the GOAT to me, because it wasn't about his rapping ability, even though I felt like he could really do a good job. It was the importance of what he was saying. He's the ultimate Gemini, so he has that duality with his shadow self. He's the ultimate Gemini. But we have this, my partner again, always this absolute way of thinking. Either we absolutely love this person or we absolutely hate this person. No in between. Unless it's for some reason. Then they'll say, well, you got to listen to the message. and not the messenger. And guess what? I'm not even all the way against that, all the way. But at what point do we stop listening at the jack-legged preacher or messengers, good message, and stop ignoring his bad behavior? Does it make sense what I'm saying? So ultimately, what I want to get to when I'm saying, who are you following? And how is it affecting your output? The condition of the environment, the influences they give you, the models they give you. Everybody follows somebody, like I said earlier in this. This is what the black conservatives do when they're following Candace Owens. When they're following Thomas Sowell. Because they were role models. Anthony Edwards, who's setting the NBA putting the NBA on notice right now. Who was his influence basketball-wise growing up? You have to follow this, understanding words. You know what? We get so hypotenuse in the light code and the elements of the sun when it comes down at the all of that extra. And guess what Malcolm always said? Make it plain. You try to say all of this high-level, top, big words. That's not education, in my opinion. Education is how you breaking it down and making it relate to the people. And if people can't relate to what you're talking about, how they going to receive it? If you coming very haughty and high-mighty, how they going to receive it? You're putting yourself up as a god, and then when they target you, you like, I ain't nobody to be followed. You can listen, and if what I'm saying makes sense, let me know. But I am a sharer of information. I'm a sharer that's doing my job. And I suggest you start to do yours. Tighten up, fellas. Tighten up your homes. If you got a good woman, stop cheating. You're not a good dude if you're married and you in somebody else's inbox. You not. You just not. If she don't know about it and that ain't to get down in the game plan, you're cheating. If LeBron James is truly on juice, he's cheating. If Tom Brady and Bill Belichick did all that Spygate, which they did, they cheated. Cheating is not fun. Cheating is not accepted. Cheating is not fair. I don't want to hear no life ain't fair because you cheat and then don't want nobody to cheat back. That sounds very Western and slave masters, right? They beat you, but you can't even put a finger on them. Who taught you? But that's my thing. I hope I was able to make something make sense, connect a few dots, turn a couple of light bulbs on. I am nobody's preacher, but I'm tired of looking at the conditions. I'm tired of hearing all of this low-level stuff. I'm tired of hearing people only base their love and their connections on the aesthetic instead of listening to what's coming out of people's mouths and what's in here and what's in here. Because this affects this, which ultimately affects what comes out. Does that make sense? So I'm done. That's about my time. I want to say peace and think about it.